Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about what's rolling out of New York. It just came out a couple of hours ago. Mayor Eric Adams has said what his vision is going to be. I'm going to roll that clip in a minute, but just know millions and millions of people are coming over the Texas border. We have no idea what their nationality is. We just know that there's millions of people coming over and it's open to whoever wants to cross. Now what he's going to say is going to shock you. Me and Stacey are going to go behind the woodshed and we're going to finish talking about this because I need my hands to talk about this one. This is some pretty serious stuff.
Yeah, it is.
Roll it.
It is my vision to take the next step to this, to go to the faith-based locales, and then move to private residence. There are residents who are suffering right now because of economic challenges. They have spare rooms, they have locales, and if we can find a way to get over the 30-day rule and other rules that government has in its place, we can take that $4.2 billion, 4.3 it may be now, that we potentially have to spend, and we can put it back in the pockets of everyday New Yorkers, everyday houses of worship, instead of putting it in the pockets of corporations, and some of those corporations.
What the heck is going on with that? It's amazing. It's almost like how fast can we run this economy and the country into the ground? I've got a list of some things that we can kind of think through, and please put in the comments something you think of that's going to be problematic with these solutions.
Yep, that's pretty scary. When I was watching that video, well, first off, let me just say, yep, I am actually this short. He is that tall. We were having a hard time getting us both in the video. But he actually got down on my level one day and he's like, oh my goodness, you see the world a different way. But the first thing I thought of after watching that video was the children. And you guys always know that's my passion. The children that are in these homes, that they're going to open up these homes. And you guys put in the comments what you think, but you've got children in these homes. If the adults are working, are these children supervised? Do we know who they're actually moving into these homes? That was my first thought, was the children. The children that are already currently living there are being brought in.
Yeah, and it's both ways.
Both ways.
The children are always the ones that gets punished.
Yep.
It doesn't matter if people are getting divorced. It doesn't matter, it's always the children that suffer, and they learn from these, so-called father figures that most of them don't have anymore. One of the first things that ran through my mind was their bad decisions will be our problem. Mm-hmm. We will fund this. Yep. This is the problem. Now, there's way more to this, because when he said the faith-based organizations, are they going to guilt these people, these organizations, into taking care of the immigrants? Will they be able to say no? Will they be, are they going to give them some kind of tax subsidy if they do or if they don't? There's a whole can of worms there, just right out of the gate, as soon as they start talking.
Yeah, I agree with you. We talked about that church in California that just got fined because they refused to do stuff that was during the who bat flu. So are they going to be fined if they choose not in these faith-based organizations? I don't know. It was a whole basket of worms that he just to me unloaded.
Yeah, I mean it's really a weak thing to say, oh, we'll just punt them to the churches.
And to homes.
And to homes, and we're going to pay. Well, wait a minute. What about property damages? What about safety? How are we going to vet them?
Wait, stop on that. So let's just stop, because I told Chris that. I said, let's talk about property damages. So okay, let's just say the scenario is someone comes over and the mayor says, all right, hey, you guys are struggling financially, because that's what he said. He said, we got some people that are struggling financially, so we're going to pay you to house some of these people. We don't know who they are, but here, house them. What happens when they damage your home? What about the insurance? Does the insurance cover that? Chris and I were talking about that.
How many lawsuits are going to come from an illegal immigrant saying that the people they were staying with were racist?
Or they got hurt.
Now, the safety is a huge, huge issue, because we just don't know where the people are from. And I mentioned in the last video, when I started talking about how big the problem was in Mexico, I'll put it right up here. New York. I think the title of the video was New York City of Mexico. It's not the Mexicans. We don't know. The whole planet is running there to come across. It's just the door. It's the door to the nation.
Yep. And I want to stop, and I get it why some of these people are coming over. I get it. So when we say this, we're not degrading people that are coming over trying to make a better life. But when a mayor comes out and just says, these faith-based organizations are just going to have to open their door, and oh, by the way, if you're struggling financially, here, just house some of these people. Yeah. You're opening up a whole world of issues. And I wrote down some of these issues: insurance issues, legal issues. Let's not even talk about health issues. I mean, we don't know.
Considering that the migrants are not vaccinated. By and large, these migrants will not get vaccinated. They refuse it. So, you're going to let these people in your home? I'm not saying one way or another. Just think through some of that before you do. There might be some pitfalls there. Here's another thing. I want to know how much the people are going to get paid to house the migrants. I want to know where they're going to get the food. Are they going to issue them a card?
Oh, good point. I didn't think about food.
They're going to get them. They're going to give them food money immediately.
Right. Yep.
What about everything else that they're supplying already in these 5-star hotels, 4-star hotels? Toothbrushes, all the medical needs that these
Clothes,
people need.
Bedding, towels. Didn't think about that. That's true. All the necessities.
And what's the incentive? What are they saying to the planet? They're saying, hey, if you come across the border, we're going to give you free room and board. There will be no consequences, and you never hear anything about deportation. That's not even on the roster. There was the man that worked at the hotel was saying, if a man gets caught beating his wife, then he just goes to another hotel. He doesn't get deported. So the incentive is there. That is going to make more people want to come over. It's going to exacerbate the problem.
You made a good point earlier when we were talking about this after watching the video. It's hard enough to live with family. Heck, we do good to live together. Can you imagine incorporating, and you mentioned this, and that's true, another culture? So not only another family, it's tough when you live. So think about this when you even go stay with people. You're a couple days and you're like, all right, I'm done with you. Let's go back to my own house. What do they say, like family after a few days is like, it becomes a stink and you got to get out of there?
Well,
and introducing cultures. And when you said that, I was like, that's a good point.
I've noticed this because I have had the privilege, and I do say privilege because I love the Mexican people. I love anybody that'll work hard and do right. But the two cultures are hard to mix under one roof. I'm not saying it can't be done, but I mean, you've got, I noticed they were trying to feed the migrants American food and they were throwing it in the trash can. They wanted to cook on hot plates. That's a culture thing.
Well, think about when you lived with those Hindu Indians. How long did you live with them? For a couple weeks?
Yeah, probably closer to a month.
Yeah, and he did that, and it was a completely different culture.
And they're great people. I have been around a lot of people that are, migrants, and I lived with them in a 2-bedroom apartment, 7 grown men living in a 2-bedroom apartment. We slept on the floor. Indians sleep on the floor, and they don't wear shoes in the house. I learned that the hard way. But let's keep going. The culture mixing, the unvaxxed, and we never hear of deportation. That was a few that I remember to say. Where are they going to work? That's the biggest problem I see right now with what's going on around me. They can come here as long as they don't get in too much trouble. They can't have a driver's license. They can pay taxes, but they can't have a driver's license. That means they've literally got like I would say a choke collar on them. You can do this, but don't you drive. It's broken. Our immigration system is broken.
Well, it's actually made me sad because someone we know personally, a super sweet lady, got pulled over. Of course, she doesn't have a driver's license because she's not legal. They're willing to take her money and fine her because she doesn't have a driver's license, but yet they still won't let her get a driver's license. It's messed up. It is. It really is.
So how are they going to work without a social security number? So they don't have a driver's license, so they can't get there. They can't get back and forth, and they don't have a social security number. So, and we're not supposed to you're not supposed to hire an illegal.
That's exactly right.
So how does all this fit into their plan other than total chaos? Maybe it's, look over here at the immigration. Look at this. Instead of, hey, the dollar's dying and our lives are about to change forever. Or, is this another distraction, or is this just more pressure on the economy, more downward pressure trying to really crush the economy? These migrants will take your job as jobs are being lost, these migrants will step up and they'll do it for half price. Well, what do you mean? That, we've got minimum wage. No, they're not going to get paid like that. They're going to get paid however, by whoever, for whatever. This is a massive problem, and these are just some of the things that immediately jumped out to me.
It is.
The system is broken, and it makes absolutely no sense to just let people run across the border and bust them all over the place, and they treat them like they're somebody else's problem. They treat them like a stray dog, or the moronic people that don't want their pet anymore and they just stick it out on a country road. We have to deal with that too.
Well, I was looking at Wall Street Journal today because I watch a lot of the news articles, and so it was calling it they're calling it a quote, this is a new term, recession with full employment. So, it went a joke to me. So if you do that and you have all these people coming across, illegals, like Chris was saying, and we have no more jobs for them, who is going to pay for it? And once again, I come back to it. The kids are the ones that are going to pay the price ultimately, and the elderly. And that's what breaks my heart, is the kids. And we actually watched a video with Alex Jones. This is, I think, maybe a year or two old, but still, it was the kids. The kids are the ones that are going to pay the price ultimately.
There's some really bad things going on with the migrants, and it would be very easy for bad people to mistreat them in some serious ways, and they're susceptible to all that. It's not an easy problem, but I know, when you look at a big problem, try to think about the most easy solution. That would be build a wall, make it to where we could get them in here legally and make sure they're not serial killers. That would be a good way to do it. But, we live in a Thunderdome now, so anything goes. So we're going to do the opposite to try to crush the economy. And it's going to fall on the middle class's back to pay for all of it.
Yes, it is.
Guys, please put in the comment section what your take is. What is something we missed? Because I know there's plenty. Have an awesome day. We'll see you in the next one. Later.